Okay, so let's give a big quick recap so that it will get recorded. So we were talking about the multi-threading and multitasking. Means at the same time, if we want to execute the multiple tasks, then we can go with the multitasking. And multitasking can be achieved by the two way. Like one is called process-based multitasking, another is thread-based multitasking. So we were discussing about the process-based multitasking. At the same time, you can open the Slack, music, Sublime. This is called process-based multitasking, and programmer don't have the control on it. This is getting managed by the processor level. Like if you are using the Intel or AMD, whatever processor you are using. But if you are considering thread-based multitasking is at our control. And I have given an example of Flipkart. In the Flipkart page, you can do adding the items to your cart and doing the payment simultaneously. We can do, right? While doing the payment, you can add more item to your cart. That is also facility is there. So this adding the item to your card and doing the payment is two separate entities. So we can use the threading concept in that page as well. And what is the important benefits of using the threading concept? So with the help of the threading concept, we can improve our response time. We can get our program execution done at very frequent, means very frequently, and the response time will get improved. And how we can use the thread? The complete threading is getting managed by this threading package. So we have to import this threading package. And now let's suppose whatever program so far so forth we executed, all the program were getting executed by the main thread. So whatever things we are doing, that is getting done by one thread. And if you are not calling any child thread, it will by default use the main thread. So as of now, I just showed you. See, I am just using the print command, and in that print command, it get used the main thread. Okay. So yeah, that was a recap. Now, note, threading model contain function. Let me note down this. So threading model contains a function called current thread, which return the current executing thread object. On this object, we can call the get name function method. Then we'll get the current executing thread name. You can see we did the same thing. Threading dot current thread, we'll get the current thread, and in on top of it, if we can call the get name function, then it will give the name of the thread name. Okay. So the way of creating the thread, what are the different way of creating the thread? So let me show you that part as well. The ways of creating thread in Python. So we can create a thread in Python by using three ways. Number one, creating a thread without using any class, Okay. Number two, creating a thread by extending the thread class. Okay, by extending the thread class. Number three, creating a thread without extending thread class. So first, creating a thread without using any class, creating a thread by extending a thread class. Extending means what, do you guys understand? Anybody? Yesterday only we talked about. Very bad. So extending means inheritance. we are going to inherit the thread class directly in our class, and so that we can use whatever function is written inside of thread class directly in our function. That is called extending. Now, yesterday only we talked about when we discuss about our inheritance class, right? So number one example, we can go with it. Creating the thread without using any class. So what I can do, from threading import, I'm just importing all the library, and here what I can do, I am going to create one function, def display, display, and here I have to create a like for I in range of 1 to 10. So or 1 to 11 you can mention. So 11 is the kaiga, and I'm going to write this is getting executed by the child thread. Print child thread. Let me write down, then I can explain you. Child thread. Okay. Now what I can do, I have to call this function, right? So what I can do, I can create an object of my thread class. How we can create an object of my thread class? So simple. Thread is predefined class. You are not creating your thread class. Okay. So it's a predefined class. So you can see th. Here I can do is target on which we have to apply the display. So we are creating the object of thread class. Display is our function. That's all. And now we are going to start our t.start, thread start. You have to give the command start. So here we are going to start our thread, starting the thread. Okay. Now what I can do, here I'm going to execute again for loop, for I in range. Now let me run this code, and then I will explain what I did it. Okay. 1, 11 again, and print main thread. Okay, it got executed, and first of all it got executed the child thread, then it got executed the main thread. Let me execute once again. Still it is same, still it is same, still it is same. Hey, what happened? Okay, I will do one thing. So what I can do, just let me give you the example what happened here. Okay, so the things happened here. What I did, I created a display function. Use the marker. So just try to understand what I did here. So I created one function, normal function. I think these things there should be no doubt, right? So I created this display function, and inside of display function, I write the child thread. You can use anything. Why I am calling this child thread? Because this function is getting executed by the thread. You can see here inside of thread class, I given the display function. So these things is getting executed by your child thread. Okay, and we started this thread. Now this 11 line number 11 and 12. Why it is called main thread? Because this is not getting hit by any thread object. This is directly getting hit by main thread. That's what I written here, main thread. Okay, so hope you guys can understand this up to this part. So now what I did here, I started these things, and again I did like this. Okay, so here the display function is getting called from here in with this target, and same thing I'm getting called with this thing. So whenever these things is getting called by which, this function is getting called by thread object. Now I'll do one thing. If I will, let me show you one more thing. If I will remove this line of code, if I will not use this line of code, okay, if I'll not use line of this code, now what I can do, I will just call the display function. I will just call the display function. This is also doing the same thing. This is also doing the same thing, but it is without thread. It is like a normal program. First display function is getting called, and then this for function is getting called. But if you are using this two line, if you are using, and remove this display function, and now in this case your two thing is running simultaneously, this for loop and this thread, two thing is getting run simultaneously. Okay, so this two thing is getting run simultaneously. Did you guys understood what I said here? Yeah. Okay, no worries. No worries. If it is a confusing, let me explain once again. So what happened? Let's suppose there is a two thread. What number one thread? This is your main thread. This is called main thread. Now, if you will not, let's suppose if you are not using line number 8 and 9, how the things will be happen? Main thread will run the display. Once the display function job is done, then main thread itself will run your for loop, this line number 13 and 14. Up to this, any doubt? Let's suppose line 8 and 9 is not there, just for example, right? Then it will execute like this. Now, let's suppose line 8 and 9 is there, then what will happen? Main thread will start executing, always will start the running the program from the main thread. Main thread will start running. Now just try to observe this. Main thread will start running, and here line number 8 it will come, and line number 8, from 8 it will create another thread which is called child thread. It will create a child thread, and main thread is still running. See, now child thread responsibility is what I have given the target to child thread, to run the display function. Now this child thread will run the display function, and at the same time main thread will run the for loop. Did you guys understood what happened here? And also, if you are executing this way, it is not always possible that output will be same, like child thread, then main thread. No, it should not be like that. Right now you are getting output like this, but if you will execute 10 times or 20 times, it could be possible child thread, then main thread, then again child thread, because it's executing parallelly. Are you getting my point, what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So yes, that is the concept of threading. And with this, you can see two code you are running simultaneously. So your performance will always get improved. Okay. Yeah. So let me clear this. I think I made you clear, guys. And if there are any questions, then feel, and see, this is the one way of creating a thread. Now I'm going to show you same thing other multiple ways. Okay. So so same thing, let me write down one more thing. So here what I'm trying to say, note, if multiple threads present in our program, then we cannot expect execution order. Means, so it will not possible that always you will get like first child thread, then main thread. It could be possible mix of all those things, child thread, main thread, child thread, like this. It could be possible, but right now you are getting like this. That is that is a processor base. There is no control of programmer. Okay. We cannot expect the execution order, and hence we cannot expect output for the multi-threaded program. Because of this, we cannot provide exact output, and that's what I said. The threading concept always should apply on those processes where each process should be independent, right? That's what I told you, because we can't expect the output, right, in some particular format, output for the above program. Okay, above program, it is varied from machine to machine. Okay, and run to run. Okay, guys, I think this concept is pretty much clear, how to create a thread and how without using any class. This is the function-based threading concept. Now let's talk about the class-based. Number 2. So now we are going to discuss creating a thread by executing. Okay, I can use one more thing. Just hold on. Oh, my system is getting hanged. have to shut down my system. Okay, so one more thing I just wanted to show you. Let me show you. Time. I can use here sleep. Here I'm going to apply the sleep of 10 seconds. Now let me execute this. Child main thread. Okay. Just on battery down. Now observe this part. Okay. Now guys, just try to understand what happened here. Let me show you. See, first child thread got executed, then main thread got executed. Then child thread, then again 9 times main thread will get executed. So did you guys understood what I wrote here? I have proved it, right? The output cannot be expected. So I can do one more thing here as well. And this time I will not do the 10-second delay. I will do 2-second delay. And here also I can put time dot sleep. And here I'm going to run the 2 second. Okay. Now let's complete this first. It is getting executed. Just complete this. Sorry. What happened? Acha, acha. Okay, it's done. Let me execute once again. Now see, child thread, main thread. Now child thread, main thread. child thread maintain, see, and it will be a mixture of it will be like the run to run and process to process, machine to machine, the execution will get changed, right? So what happened here? So see what happened, the same logic. Let me show you this part. So this is your main thread is getting executed. This is your main thread. Okay. Main thread is started the child thread. This is your CT, means child thread. Child thread will run your child thread. Okay. And it's shown the 2-second delay. It shows the 2-second delay. And while the main thread is running parallelly, then again main thread is running. It is also showing 2-second delay. And this is also running parallelly. So this is giving the output and this is also giving the output at the same time. That's what we are getting, like this mixture of all the things. Earlier, I was not able to show this part. Now I can able to show by applying the sleep. Hope you guys understood. Any question? That's good. Okay, awesome. Now let me show you number 2 way of creation of thread. Okay. By extending thread class. So how we can be achieve these things? So we can achieve these things by, let's suppose, for first of all, from threading, import all the package. And here what I can do, we can create a class, and that class name you can give anything. I'm giving my thread class, and I'm going to extend thread class. What happened here? Anybody? This is inheritance concept. This is your, yes. So thread class is your parent class, and you are going to inherit that parent, and this thread class you have not written. This has been written by the Python developers who developed the Python language. And in this function, in this class, there is just so many functions are already written, and you are going to utilize that function inside of your class. That's what we are doing. Okay. So here we inherited the thread class, and now inside of my thread class I'm going to create one function called run function. Again, this run function is written inside of thread class as well, but you are giving the customization. I told you, right? Method overriding. This is called method overriding concept. One method inside of parent class already there, you are just overriding that method based on your requirement. Okay, so here you can create your run method, and inside of run method, so you can create a self function. So here I'm going to write for I in range of 1 to 11, and here I'm going to write print child thread, child thread 1. Okay, and now I will do one thing. I will initialize my thread object. How we can initialize my class object? Simple. Obj is equal to my thread, and here I can do these things. Now I have to start this. So how we can start? Obj dot start function I have to call, and that's all. My thread will get start. Now simultaneously I will run my main thread as well. How we can run the main thread? We can simple for I in range of 1 to 11, comma, here I can write print main thread. Hey, what happened? Main thread. Very good. So let me execute this and let me show you. Now you can see child thread, then main thread. Okay. Bahut sahi. Now it is doing the same job. So simple. I can import sleep. So here I can put the time dot sleep. And here I'm going to give the 2-second delay, and here also I'm going to, so that I can show you the mixture. So see, two-way, you guys have seen that how to create a thread. Now, how can we interpret with the real life? Let me show you what happened. Time has moved to the sleep. I kahan likh diya? So see, still error came, but see, child thread error came, but main thread is executing. Can you see this, guys? So that's a beauty of running this, means using the thread concept. Still, the error is there in the child thread, but main thread is means separately running. It's not getting affected to the main thread. Now it is fine. Okay. Now let me show you one more thing. What I'm trying to say. How you guys can interpret these things in the real time, right? That's the question. Let's complete this, then I can show you. Okay, it's done. So I have taken this example. So see, adding the item to your cart is the one program, and doing the payment is the other program. Now, just go to your code base. Just go to your code section. So you can see the adding the item to your cart logic, you can write inside of this run function. Yes, no? Yes, we can write. And doing the payment, you can initialize inside of main thread. You can write the logic. Right now, I just added the print statement, but you can write the exact logic here. So it will work simultaneously. Right? Okay. Any question, guys? Creating a thread, two-way we have seen. Number one, creating a thread without using class, creating a thread by extending the thread class. Now, third way I'm going to show you, creating a thread without extending a thread class. I would recommend go with the second way always. I used to use the second way. Don't ask why, but I like that way. So, but as a teaching purpose, I used to give all the way what are the different possible way to create a thread. You can choose whatever things is you like. Third step. So creating a thread without extending thread class, So what we can do, simple, from threading import string. So here I'm going to use class test, and I'm going to create my class as a test, and here inside of class I can create some function. It's called instance function, right? Parallelly start speaking the words, then you guys can understand what is this, right? So display function, this is what? This is instance function. Okay, as I mentioned, I will prepare assignment for you guys today. I will share with you guys by today, end of the day, so that coming Friday, before coming the Friday, you guys have to come up with the solution of all the assignment. This is the task for this week. Okay, so be ready for that. For I in range, here I'm going to write print child thread. That is fine. And I'm going to create an object of my test class. Object is equal to test. And here I'm going to create an object of the thread class. PHRA. Simply same thing we are doing here as well. See, here also we are doing the same thing. Earlier we were extending these things. Now we are not extending. So we are creating object of my parent class. And inside of parent class, we are going to give the target. Target is equal to obj dot display function, display function, and that's all. Not this, like this, display function. That's all. And now here I'm going to create my thread t dot start. Oh, and now same thing, I'm going to write for I in range of 1 comma 11, and here I'm going to write print thread. Okay, execute this, and the same thing, like we can use the time dot sleep so that you can show you time dot sleep. Yeah. Okay, very good. So three way we have seen to initialize the thread. Any questions so far in this three way to creating a thread? Very good. Yeah. Yes, that's it. Okay. So let me show you the same program without thread. Okay. And how much time it is taking and how much time it is taking with thread. Then I can prove my words like thread is responsible to improve the performance of your program, right? So let me show you that part as well without thread. So without thread we are doing. So what I can do, import time and def, just a minute. Yep. Will be always doubles and the numbers. So what I can do for I in numbers, and here is numbers, and I am just going to do double. Here I am going to apply the time dot sleep. 2 seconds I am going to make. 2 seconds is quite high, so I can put the 1 second delay, and here I'm going to write print double. Just to showing purpose how multi-threading is getting help to improve the performance. Okay, so doubles 2 into n, 2 into I. That's all. And similarly, I can create one more function, df squared, squares squares. And here I'm going to write numbers. I think you guys can understand what this function does, right? First function is just doubling the number. Second function will do the square of the numbers. So range of, not for I in numbers, and here I'm going to do time dot sleep. 1 second, and print squares from I into I. That's okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to initialize. So two function I have created. Now what I can do, I'm going to create a numbers list, and numbers is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, very good. Now what I'm going to do, beginning time. So beginning, beginning time is equal to time dot time. So it will get the program execution time. And now I'm going to call my double function, and here I'm going to pass my numbers. And similarly, I am going to call my square function. And here also I'm going to call my numbers, passing my numbers. That is okay. Now I'm going to call again, how much time it took. So it's very simple. Print the total time taken. The total time taken is equal to comma time dot time. So time dot time, it will get the current time minus beginning time. Beginning time. Okay, very good. Now let me execute this, and double, triple, double four, double five, double six, double eight. So it will run the sequentially. Now I will do the same thing with the thread. It will doing the squares and it will get the total time. And total time taken is 14 seconds. Can you see this? 14 seconds. Now I will do the same job with the multi-threading. Okay. So this is the without multi-threading. Now I'm going to show you with, so without multi-threading, how much time it took? 14 seconds, right? Now with multi-threading, we are going to see how much time it is. With multi-threading. So again, from threading, import string, all the things we are going to import. Import time as well, I'm going to import, as time is already imported, but I'm going to import once again. Now same thing I'm going to do once again. I will do copy paste. I'll not write once again. Up to this is fine, right? I think this also we can take. Control C. Control V, that is fine. Now, this is fine. Now beginning time, and now we are going to initialize our threads. So first thread, we are initializing T1. How to initialize without, and this is the way without class thread. First thread, we are going to initialize inside of thread. We are going to give the target is equal to, what is that function? Doubles, doubles, doubles. And what I have to pass inside of double? Args. Args is equal to numbers. Args is equal to numbers. We can keep the numbers, comma, like this. Like this we can view. Similarly, I want to create a another thread for executing the square function. This is my thread 2. Okay, and thread and target this time should be squares. Okay, argument I'm going to give these things. Now I have to start my thread, right? So T1 dot start. Hey, what? Similarly, T2 dot start. T2 dot start. And now I will print this line, how much time it is taking. So now let me copy this, paste it here. Okay, it seems like means main thread got, because this is the part of main thread, right? So that's what it got executed first. So what I can do, okay, no worries. I can fix this issue. Don't worry. So if this is the issue, what we can do, we can use the join function. I will talk about the join function. Let me talk about the join function. Now, T2 join, T1 join, and T2 join. I will talk about this. Don't worry. What is join function? But let me execute and let me show you the agenda, how it is getting help. T2 join, T1 join, and then this. It's done. And let me execute this. Now this problem will not occur. And now let's see how much time it is taking in both the cases. And you can see exactly half of the time, 7 seconds. And earlier it was taking how much? 14 seconds. Which one is good? Which one is good? With threads, exactly. Okay, now let me show you the join function. What is the importance of join function? I think everyone home has some kind of marriage ceremony has been done, right? So far, Means any kind of marriage has been done in your home or not so far. Any kind of it, your brother, sister, your whatever it's there, right? It should be, right? So let's take an example of marriage. How it's a very big process in Indian culture. It's a very big process. What I understood, as per my understanding and knowledge, what I'm talking about. In inside of India and Indian culture, marriage is the very bigger thing. It's not like that within an hour you can done and within a day you can complete. It's a long process, years and years, 2 years, 3 years. I have seen some of my colleagues in my family get married in 4 years. It took 4 years, right, to get married. So what is the process of getting married? So number one process, you have to find your bride and groom first thing. Like without that you can't marry it, right? Find bride or grooms. Second, start communication, because this is very much important. Third thing, family acceptance. Then everything is fine. Then we are going to match the kundali. No, if kundali will get matched with these two things, then only the parents is giving the acceptance. Okay, we can proceed. Then we are finding what? Dates, proper dates, what we call like lagan or something. I don't know what we call in English, but it's like a date, so proper date with on which you can do the marriage, right? So we are going to find the dates, and here the pandits and all the things will come into the picture, and we are going to find the dates. And once the date got fixed, then what we are doing? We are printing what? Printing the cards. Once the card printage has been done, distribution of card. Distribution of card. Once the distribution of the card has been done, then getting marriage. Matlab on that day, that's like a process. Might be I skip some of the part, but yeah, this is the way, right? Now, just try to understand here. Don't you think so? Each and every components are very much connected. Means without finding the bride and groom, you can't start the communication. Without starting the communication, you can't meet your bride and grooms to your family, so that family acceptance will not come. Without family acceptance, how you will match the kundali? Without kundali match, how you can go to the purohit place so that you can get the dates? Without getting dates, how you can go for the printing? Without getting print of the cards, how you can distribute the cards? Without getting distribution of card, how you will get a marriage? Before that, you have to find some place as well to get married, but that's fine. So hope you guys can understand this part. Yes. And also there is a one thing, you can see each entities are independent. See, independent but dependent on the each other. So in this case, you can use the join function, and I'm telling, let's suppose this is my thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, thread 4, thread 5, thread 6. This is my T6, T7, and this is my T8. Now just try to understand this part. If T2 has to execute, then T2 has to wait unless T1 is not getting done. So for that reason, what we are trying to do here, I'm telling T1, hey T1 dot join. Here I'm going to call T1 dot join function, so that T2 will get wait unless T1 is not getting done. Similarly, T3 is dependent on T2, so T2 has to wait. T3 has to wait till T2 is not getting done. So here also join function, join. The same thing I did here as well, my dear. So T1 done, T2 done, then only this function has to execute. Otherwise, earlier the main thread was getting executed first. That's what this problem got overcome. Now you guys can understand this concept, what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah, please, Sushant. Yeah. If T2 has to execute, the T3 has to execute, then T2 has to complete, right? So you can write T2 dot join. No. T2 already waited for T1, right? So T1 के लिए you already applied a join. No need to write T1 dot join. You have to write only T2 dot join. Okay. Yeah, cool. Fine, guys. Fine. I think I made you guys very much clear about these two things. Let me clear this diagram. Okay. Now, this is very much clear. Okay, let me see what I can. And how to check whether your thread is alive or not, right? So let me show you this part as well. Is alive function. Did you guys like that concept of threading? Like, it's very much important, but very few people used to touch this thing. And I have seen in my life, many senior guys also never use the threading concept in their program, but it's very much important to use. How much time? Exactly half of the time it is getting cut down. So that's what some of the website is performing very fast and some of the website is performing very slow just because of these things, right? It's not like that network consumption is there. Though your network is very speedy, but still they are not utilizing the threads properly. That might be the reason your website is getting slow. Okay. So keep these things in your mind. It's very much important as if you're going for any kind of product-based company for interview process. These are the things is very much important. So is alive method checks whether a thread is still executing or not. Okay, still executing or not. Now, for example, so let me show you. So from threading, import asterisk, import time. Now I'm going to call display function. Print current thread. Current thread dot get name. Comma started. Done. And here I'm going to apply time dot sleep of 3 seconds. And here I'm going to write the same program line of code here as well. And this is cool and ended. Cool. That's fine. Now this up to this be done. Now what I can do, I'm going to create a thread. I'm going to initialize one thread. Object T1 is equal to thread. And here I'm going to give the target is equal to display function and comma. I'm going to give the name of this thread, child thread 1. Thread 1. Similarly, I can copy paste of this line of code. Oh, I did a mistake. Tab. Control C, Control V. And here I'm going to write T2, another thread. and here same function I'm going to call, and here I'm going to use child thread 2. Now this is done. Up to this, I think we are very much good. Now I have to start my thread. I have not started my thread, right? So t1 dot start, and here I'm going to start my thread, and here also I'm going to use t2 dot start. And here also I'm going to write like this, and now I have to check once this starting has been done. I'm going to write whether my thread has been live or not. So print, here I'm going to write print t1 dot name, t1 dot name. What will come? Child thread 1, and this will name from where it is coming from. Whatever name you are going to give here, same name will come here. Name, comma, is alive, comma, t1 dot is alive function. It got changed. I don't know. Let's see. Similarly, I can use this function as well. And here I'm going to write t2 dot name, and is alive. Here I can write t2 this. And now I'm going to apply here as well. Time dot sleep. Here I'm going to apply 5 seconds of delay. Now same thing I'm going to do, copy paste, and again I'm pasting this t1 dot. Okay, let me execute. It started and it's saying thread 1 is alive and ended, and then it is saying thread 1 is false, alive false. Can you see this? So is alive is true means thread is live, means once the program execution, thread program execution done, automatically the thread will get killed, so that it is saying false, right? That's the important of function, this function. Okay, join method. Let me talk about the join method once again. I already spoke it about. Any question in the is alive function? Yeah, that's cool. Now let me talk about the join function. I already explained, but once again, join method. So if a thread, I already told you, if a thread wants to wait until completing completing some other thread, then we should go for the join method. For example, let me write the example. From threading, import a string, import time, def display function I'm going to call display. And here I'm going to write for I in range of 11. I'm going to write print some thread name I can give. You can say child thread. And here I'm going to pass time dot sleep. Here I'm going to give the thread dot sleep go 2 seconds. Very much clear. Now what I can do happened. Here I'm going to create an object of my thread class, and here I'm going to write target is equal to display. You can, if you want to give the name of your thread, you can give happily names is equal to child thread. You can give anything. This up to this is done, and now I'm going to start my thread. And here I'm going to start. And now I'm going to now I am going to put my main thread to be wait until this thread execution. Okay, let me show you without main thread, without join function. Okay, now for I in range of what you are doing, range of 10, and print main thread, main thread. Okay, let me execute and see main thread got executed and child thread still executing. Now I want to do a control, means I want to say to my main thread, don't execute until unless the child thread execution is not getting done. Same marriage wala scenario. So what I can do, t dot join function I can call here, and if you are going to apply the join function, this function will not get called. This is the main thread, right? Main thread will not get called until unless that function is not getting done. So let me execute once again and see child thread is main thread is still not executing, though it's waited, but still main thread is not getting executed at all until unless child thread execution is not done. This is the beauty of join function, and this is also called thread control. Okay. Hmm. Now next concept is coming as a okay. Any questions so far, guys, in join and all the sort of things? Very good. Now we are coming at the synchronization. Okay, let's take a 9 minute of break. Right now 16:21. We can start at 16:30. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Are we guys back? Yeah, cool. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the synchronization. What do you mean by the synchronization? Before getting started the synchronization, I would love to ask you question. How many of you done? How many of you booked the ticket on IRCTC or Make My Trip? Any idea? Like, have you ever done this? Yeah. So what is happening in the IRCTC? Let's suppose I am booking the ticket and I can see the number of ticket seats are available like 100 and I'm going to book the ticket. But as soon as I'm doing the booking, automatically I can see my ticket went into the waiting list. What the happened? What happened here? Means while booking, there is a n number of things, n number of people also doing the booking, so that my seats got filled, right? So how the things is getting managed here, which is called synchronization. I will talk about once again in depth, but you can understand the problem. So we should have the synchronization between the threads execution. Synchronization is what if multiple threads are executing simultaneously, then we may have the chances of data inconsistency. Means, let's suppose you are booking the ticket and it is showing 100 seats are available, but you book the ticket with the 100 seats, but at the same time other people also book the ticket. Now IRCTC guys will get become mad, like, okay, what happened? This guys see, I means for 100 ticket, 100 seats, 1,000 people got confirmed seat. How we can give the seats to the 900 peoples, right? So for that reason, synchronization coming to the picture. Let me talk about the synchronization first, and then we can. It's a very big topic. Don't worry, we can't complete. I think today we'll take another one day. But after this, means next Friday we can speak about these, as well as we can start our ML journey as well. So no need to worry. So synchronization is what? If multiple threads are executing simultaneously, then then there may be a chance there may be chance of data inconsistency. Data inconsistency problem. What I'm trying to say, let me talk about this, okay? Let me talk about this in layman term. Let's suppose I'm going to create a thread from threading import string, and here I'm going to import time. What I'm trying to do, I'm going to create a wish function, and here I'm going to give the name. Just try to understand what I'm trying to say here. So for I in range of, here I'm going to write 10, and here I'm going to write print good evening, good evening, good evening, comma, I'm going to give the name good evening, comma, end is equal to this. That's okay. Oh. Last day, I'm taking the class. You guys go in. Sorry, 1 minute. Oh. After this class. After this class, I have a break of 2 hours. I can complete that. No worries. Sure. Time dot sleep. And here I'm going to put a sleep of 2 seconds. And here I'm going to write print dot name. Print dot name. That's okay. Now, that's up to this is fine. And hope you guys can understand what is the int argument. Int argument with the same line, it will print this name. That's okay. Now, this up to this we done. Now, what I can do, I have to initialize the thread object. T1 is equal to thread, and I'm going to write target. And here I'm going to write wish function, and argument I have to write argsr equal to here I'm going to write Rajesh, comma this. Hey, what you are doing? T2. I'm going to copy paste this line of code again, and I'm going to create another thread T2 thread with an argument I'm going to pass Rohini and Manisha. Okay. T2 thread argument with, and that's fine. Now I have to start both the thread. T1 dot start. And here I'm going to write start and T2 dot start. Now if I'll execute this code, let me what happened. Please take one positional argument. Seven will give me. Acha, got it. Write the comma. Now it is fine. You can see the problem here. What I am trying to say. See, good evening, and then Manisha. Good evening, Rajesh. Good evening, Rajesh. Good evening. So data inconsistency problem it is there. Means I want good evening, Rajesh. Good evening, Manisha. Good evening, Rajesh. Good evening, Manisha. Good evening, Manisha. Good evening, Rajesh. Like this. But see here, good evening, Rajesh, Manisha. Good evening. Means it's a very frequent and means it's very randomly things is getting printed, and there is no making sense at all, right? For that reason, what we can do, we can go with so let me write this statement. What I am trying to say, cell type markdown. We are getting irregular output because BCA USC, because both the threads are executing simultaneously wish function. Okay, to overcome this problem, you know, right, why it is happening? Because both the thread is executing simultaneously. To overcome this problem, we should go for synchronization. Concept. Okay, now how to do the synchronization? So synchronization means at a time only one thread will get executed. Only one thread should execute. Okay. The main application area of synchronization are number one. What is that? Online reservation system. Okay. Number two, fund transfer. I think you guys can correlate these things, right? Fund transfer from joint account. Yeah. So in Python, we can implement synchronization by using the following method, following way. Number one, lock form, lock, L-O-C-K, lock. Number two, rlock. Number three, semaphore. Okay. So these are the different way with which you can achieve the synchronization. Now let me talk about synchronization by using lock concept. So I was talking about synchronization by using the lock concept. Synchronization by using the lock concept. LOCK, lock are the most fundamental, let me write down, fundamental synchronization mechanism. I think you guys understood what is the problem and what we are trying to solve, right? Mechanism provided by threading module, we can create lock object as follows. L is equal to lock. It's a lock, and the lock object can be hold only one thread at a time. If any other thread required the same lock, then it will wait. If any other thread required the same lock, then it will wait until thread release lock. Similar to common washroom. Right? Public telephone, for example. Right? Telephone booth, public telephone booth. It is not. Earlier it was happening, right? What is happening? Say, let's suppose, just try to understand. Earlier in the before 10 years or 15 years, what was happening? I faced this problem. So I used to go to my telephone booth and I put on a wait until unless the other person inside of this telephone booth. And some people are going in the telephone booth. It seems like that is their own property. They used to like speak hours and hours, like 3 hours, 5 hours, right? And that 5 hours I used to wait at the outside and to get release that booth available for use for my purpose, right? I can go inside and I can speak around it. So that's a bigger problem, right? So in between of that, I can't go inside and I can use the telephone, right? So this is called synchronization. Similarly, common washroom in your home as well, might be there will be one common washroom which is getting used by the multiple people. You can't go in between of the someone is already using, you can't use that washroom, right? So there is also coming to the synchronization function is coming. So what we can do, we can, so one person is using the washroom, they used to apply a lock inside a door, so other cannot go inside of this thing. So similar kind of thing here as well. One thread is getting executed, that thread will apply the lock, and that same object cannot be used by the other thread. Means like what I'm trying to say here, see here, display is the, sorry, this is the one object, it is getting used by the two thread 1, thread 2. So if thread 1 is using the wish function, then this thread 1 can apply the lock on it, right? So T2 cannot be accessible on this wish function until unless T1 is not getting done. Did you guys understood what I'm trying to say? Hope I make you understand with this example, washroom example, right? So let's suppose in such a, if I want to give the other example, let's suppose this two person is there, which is getting used the common washroom. This is the washroom, right? So this person went inside a washroom and he is going to use this washroom. He applied the lock. He applied the, right now he is not applying the lock. So anyone is going inside a washroom and the other person is also using that. That's what, and that's what this mixing things is getting done. So what is happening? Let's suppose T1 is went inside of this washroom. He applied the lock on this washroom. Apply on the lock on this washroom. Now T2 is also want to use this washroom at the same time. Then the T1 is saying, no, this is getting locked. Means I can't use this thing until unless this T1 is not getting done, so that this mixer things will not fall done. Did you guys understood the lock function? What is the importance of lock function now? Very good, very good. Now let me show you with the example. Okay. I will do copy paste directly. And one thing I can do. So I can do here, I can create an object of lock. Okay. L is equal to lock. Now what I can do, I'm going to inside of this function, as soon as this function is getting used by someone, I'm going to write the acquire. L dot acquire. Okay. If I'm using the acquired, now this function is getting used. Now, as soon as this function execution is done, I'm going to release this, means closing that lock. So L dot release, and this got released. Now other thread can be used. Now, if I will execute like this, now see the problem got resolved. Good evening, Rajesh. Good evening, Rajesh. See, can you see this? What is happening? Earlier, Rajesh is getting executed. The mixing thing is not happening here. Oh. See, now Monisha is coming into the picture. Okay. Hope you guys can understand, right? This part. Yeah, very good. Very good. And it's a very common like a washroom. Just take an example. If you will forget the thing, remember my example. My example will always help the people in the interview to keep the answer. Even you don't know how to do the coding and all the sort of things, but if you can help them, the people help to the interview to make the understand with this example, okay, how we are using the washroom and kind of thing, they will understand. Yeah, you know the concept, you know the things, and they will happily understand and very happy to listen you if you are using this kind of punchline. This, to be honest, this punchlines always helps to attract the people on your conversation. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. I think we can stop here. Like it is pretty much good and healthy conversation we discuss. I want to continue this synchronization of Friday because it's a big topic and it deserves a separate class. One more day I will take, guys, and then I can start machine learning concept. We can start the statistics. Does it make sense, guys? Yes, please. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I will let me answer these things. So if you're opening the YouTube, do you have premium account, ma'am? No. So that's a feature of that's a YouTube by default made it, right? You can't switch the application. But if you are opening these things in laptop, it's possible. It's not a threading. It's not related to threading. YouTube want some kind of promotion. That's what they implemented like this. Because if they will allow these things, well, then why the people will buy the premium account? Right, so it's not a problem with threading, it's their feature that they made intentionally this feature. Okay, yeah, cool guys, cool. Thank you for joining over the weekend. Hope so coming weekdays will be enjoyable, and we'll do the more healthy discussion on it, and I will do share this video and this class notes in a while on this YouTube drive. uh, but uh, but be safe. Nowadays in Bangalore there is a one conjunctivitis virus is coming into the picture. I am suffering with this from the last 1 week. I'm not able to open my eyes, and I'm not able to go outside of this thing, so please take care of all those sort of things. uh, so though now I'm getting relief with those things, but now just take care of all this. Many people are suffering. In my flat, I think 4 to 5 members are getting suffered. So yeah, take care of all those things. And whenever you are going outside, please wear your sunglass and all the sort of things. And even in your office as well, if you are used to go office, please use the sunglass. That will help you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you. We'll catch up on Friday.